Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Karen, and in this video I'm going to be talking about what I'm currently reading, and I'm going to be showing you some of the new books that I got from the library. I'm currently reading North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. I'm about 200 pages into this one, 209 to be exact, and I am absolutely loving it. The reason why I picked this up was because Netflix very kindly suggested the adaptation of this novel, and I absolutely fell in love with it. It's I believe a BBC miniseries from a couple years ago, and I just thought that the story was brilliant and I love the characters. North and South follows Margaret Hale, who is a young girl, I believe she's 19, who is from the South in Victorian England. She, because of her father's crisis of faith, moves with her family to the north, and she goes to a manufacturing industrial town called Milton. There she finds that life is very, very different from what she's used to and from the South, and she meets a lot of new people. She falls in love with a great leading man, and she really grows up as a person and as a woman by the experiences that she has in this industrial town. I am absolutely loving this. It's so good. Elizabeth Gaskell's writing is so engaging, and even though it deals with a lot of serious topics, I find myself just so excited to pick it up every single time. This book is great because it's not only about a romance, but it also has a lot of stories from workers, about strikes, about what it's like to own a company, what it's like to own a factory, what it's like to work in a factory, and I just think it's amazing. Elizabeth Gaskell is such a famous Victorian novelist because she writes about these topics. I have noticed that there are a couple of differences between the adaptation and the novel, but those differences have not made any difference to me so far. I really do feel like this is going to be a 5-star book. Also, this is my first of these Penguin English Library editions, and I think it's absolutely beautiful, but I had no idea that you get a portrait of the author. What? Next, I'm reading The Lie Tree by Frances Hardinge. This is so good. I am also about 200 pages into this, and I can see why so many people were raving about it when it first came out, because this book is wonderful, and the fact that it's a children's book just amazes me, because all children's books should be like this. This is so good. The Lie Tree follows a young 14-year-old girl by the name of Faith. She is, I think, is set in Victorian England. I mean, I'm about 200 pages into this novel and I don't know, so that's kind of a problem. But I think it's Victorian England. It's definitely a historical fiction book. And she moves with her family to a new island called Vane. The reason why this move happens is very mysterious. She doesn't know why her family has left society and has left London, and there are a lot of secrets there. What she doesn't know is that her father has acquired a very magical plant that is essentially the Lie Tree. That's where the title of this novel comes from, and this magical tree tells you truth that you wouldn't otherwise know if you feed it a lie. So that's basically the gist of this book. I do think that the synopsis gives a little bit more than it should. There is kind of like this really big change in the novel that happens that the synopsis gives away, and I don't understand why it does that. Faith is an amazing main character. She gives me a lot of Hermione Granger vibes, which is always a very good thing. She's awesome. She really loves fossils and plants, and she's so smart, and she wants to gain all of this knowledge, and like I said, she's totally a Hermione Granger type of character, and I am really enjoying this. I also feel like this is going to be a 5 stars, maybe a 4 stars if at the end everything doesn't come together, but I don't see why that would happen, because so far the author has not made one mistake. Also, I am reading The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton. I'm including this in this video even though I've only read one chapter, and I don't know if that's like aloud. But yeah, I read the first chapter. It was interesting. I didn't understand anything that was going on, and I think that's a very okay thing, because I have seen quite a lot of book reviews on this, and most people say that you will not understand the first chapter and that you have to go back and read it once you're finished with the book. Now on to the new books that I have gotten from the library. I went to the library again. Why? I don't know. I mean, the books are there. They're free. They're just gathering dust. I might as well take them home with me. First book that I got at the library is Mr. Fox by Helen Oyeyemi. I have heard of this author so much here on BookTube, but I have not read anything by her. And this one just kind of showed up without me wanting it, really. I was browsing through my library. I was trying to look for another book, and this one was just there, and it had a fox, and I was like, oh, let's see what this is. And then I read that it was written by this author, and because I have heard of her, I decided to pick it up. I did watch a couple of book reviews on this book when I took it home, and the general opinion is that you're gonna enjoy it, but you're not really gonna understand it. So I'm going into it knowing that this is probably gonna be kind of experimental, and that's something that I immediately get. Then I got Revolutionary Road by Richard Yates. This is a book that is really an American classic, and I saw the film with Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio way back when it first came out. I liked it. I love both of those actors. I'm a very big Titanic fan, so I thought that they were absolutely wonderful in that movie. Really, really great acting. I again saw this and picked it up. I am really excited about it because I know that it's one of Mercedes' favorite books from Mercy's Bookish Musings, and I have really similar taste to her, so I think that I will probably really enjoy this. And the most exciting thing about this book is that my copy from the library is actually from 1971. Yeah, so this copy is from 1971, and I absolutely love when libraries have super old copies of books. And the most special thing isn't only the date, but also that an older reader decided to underline and put some marginalia in this book, and that makes me so happy. I am somebody that writes in my books. I underline, I highlight, I put all my opinions in my books because that makes them really personal to me, and by doing that I feel like a book becomes from an object to a memory. I am able to pick up a book from my shelf and not only encounter this wonderful story, but also encounter my own self. Then I got Lincoln in the Bardo by George Saunders. This is a book that I really wasn't going to read, and I'm really sorry, by the way, if the lighting's really awkward and weird. The sun is just setting at this moment, so it's kind of going away and coming back and going away, and sorry for the horrible lighting. I'm sure, you know, lighting is so difficult. But anyway, back to the book, back to Lincoln in the Bardo. I wasn't planning originally on getting this, but then I saw a book review on it by insert a literary pun here. I believe her name is Jess, and her channel is absolutely wonderful, and her book review for this book was just so beautiful. And once I saw that, I was like, yep, I need to read that. I need to pick that up. The book follows Abraham Lincoln's son, who died really young in the Bardo, which is this space between life and death. And it's written in a very interesting experimental way, so I'm really looking forward to it. And I think that it's one of those books that I'm either going to love or that I'm going to hate and not get. And the final book that I got at the library was How to Be a Victorian by Ruth Goodman. Now, I'm one of those people that I love historical fiction set in the Victorian era. I love shows set in the Victorian era. So I definitely romanticize the era as a whole just because I'm so attracted to it. But I don't really know much about the daily lives of a Victorian woman or a Victorian man. So this book is perfect because it's all about that. You basically follow a Victorian person from the moment they get up to the moment they go to bed. It has so many cool illustrations about how to put on your hat and how to put on your corset and how to stand and how to dance and how to hold things. And I think that it's just going to be a fantastic book full of things that I don't really need to know, that I will probably never be asked about in my life, but that are really interesting and that I just want to have in my head. And I'm gonna stop talking now because I think that this video has just gone on way too long. But thank you very much for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and bye. Oh, there they go.